should have all be delivered already. If by any chance you have not received your completed delivery, please let us know. We also already sent out the acknowledgement form for the backpacks. So please keep in mind that throughout this, you will be receiving there are going to be different acknowledgements for these. So if you fill one out, that doesn't mean that's being filled out for all of them. So just the backpacks came out from WebAuthor. You would have received no reply at webauthor.com. It can be in your junk or your spam if you haven't received an email from WebAuthor before. If you didn't receive it, just go ahead and send us an email and we'll resend the link. That seems to be working for most of the people who haven't received it. When we resend it, they are getting it. So in that acknowledgement, this is the email, what it's going to look like. It's an example. It's just going to say, from no reply, it'll have our logo on it. You're going to click that blue button that says view record in order to open it. You do not have to create an account. You don't have to sign anywhere. This is just going to have the acknowledgement for you to sign off on. So this is what it'll look like. It'll say how many backpacks you were supposed to get. You're going to click yes to receive that you received your backpacks. You're going to upload the packing slip. If you are having trouble uploading just one scan, if you Google how to contract the PDF, there is a link that comes up really quick from Adobe that'll show you how to minimize the size of the PDF for you to be able to upload it, okay? You will sign and save. That's it for the backpacks.
Well, before we get started with the materials fair, Andrea, I did start recording 3 minutes late. So for purposes of sharing this recording, if you can go back to the very first slide, because I started recording right towards the end of the second slide. Sorry, your second slide there. Okay. So for purposes of sharing this recording, if you go to the next slide, right now we're seeing your next one.
This one.
All right, so this is the one that because we started a little late, again, she was just talking about that this is the process for the backpacks. And then you heard the rest of the steps as far as acknowledgement forms, that by now, the only piece that you missed is that by now all the backpacks should have been delivered by one of the 3 vendors, Lakeshore, Kaplan, who was the other? I'm sorry?
Discount School Supplies.
And Discount. So that's the only piece that was missed. So thank you. We can continue.
Thank you. I'm going to go slowly just for it to capture in the recording.
Thank you.
Okay, and now for the materials fair.
Carolina, are you able to unmute yourself?
So for the materials fair, the same thing will happen. And again, please note that the email that you're going to get will still continue being from no reply at webauthor.com. You will see something that will relate to the materials acknowledgement. So just make sure that you are not discarding those emails. They are all important. So you'll get an email from no reply at WebAuthor. The document itself will have the information that you've purchased or that you've selected in the materials fair. So it will have a number, an order number attached, and it'll tell us, or it'll tell you exactly what you ordered from which vendor. It'll have a total dollar amount of what you spent. It'll have your information number, your information and your contact information. Okay. The idea is, if you continue to the next slide, is if you have any information or any of the material that was not delivered or is missing or broken or damaged, you would let us know. So where you see in the contact information up top, there's a mandatory line that says, please confirm if you've received damaged goods. You will put no, obviously, if everything is complete. If you put yes, then you'll have another pop-up. So in the case that most of you will get all your materials and you have all your packings, slips and everything else, you'll put no, and it'll allow you to continue to acknowledge that you've received all materials. So you will sign off and say, yes, I acknowledge to all the information and all the materials received. You will type in your name, the position for which you are for the center, and you would upload the order form in the first box that says choose file. And then in the second file, you would upload your packing slip that you received in the box, signed and dated by you, if possible. All this information needs to be signed and dated. Then you would continue to sign the acknowledgement itself in that big box, and then you would save. You are not allowed to resubmit this. You can only do this once, okay? The only time that you would be able to see this again is if there's damaged goods or missing goods, okay? The next slide will show you what it would look like if you have damaged or missing items. So the same thing, you would have your provider information, then you would have your contact information. And you would click on yes, I received damaged goods or incomplete. If you click yes, all the vendors that you purchase from, you will have boxes that say, was it damaged or was it incomplete? And then on the last box on your right-hand side, it'll tell us to please give a description of what you are missing or what is damaged. Okay, you would do that for all the ones that you have something missing or damaged. And that email, you would fill out your name, you would fill out your position, and you would sign. And you would save it and it would submit to us. We will then reach out to the vendor and to you to get more information if needed. We would come to the vendor and ask them for a replacement or to ask for the items that are missing. When we know that you have received all items, you will get a new notification asking to please acknowledge you received all items. And so the acknowledgement will look like the first form.
So if I can jump in and add a couple of things and also reiterate a couple of things, because I know we've said a
Sure.
lot in very little time. So in the previous slide, just to reiterate, she did say you have to sign and date your packing slip, okay? Now remember, materials just started shipping. Most vendors have till mid-June to ship materials. So if you started getting them and you're like, oh my God, I'm missing a whole bunch of stuff, I'm going to go in and acknowledge and say that my order is incomplete. Don't do that. Because like she mentioned, you only have one chance to do this, right? So the way you know if you received everything or not is that you still have access to the portal where you shopped online. If you go to your packing slip, that not your packing slip, but your order slip, you just have to click on that order and it shows you all the items that are in that package. Okay, so you still have access to the portal to be able to see everything that you ordered. So don't go into WebAuthor until you've received all your order. Now, if it's June 10th or 12th and you're still missing a lot of stuff, reach out to me before you go into WebAuthor and start filling out that you're missing a whole bunch of stuff, because it could be that a vendor's delayed, right? He may be taking till June 15th or June 17th to ship his materials. So if we know that, we'll just let you know, no, just wait, your order's on the way. So once again, there's roughly 12 vendors in the materials fair, right? Vendors have roughly the entire month, half of May and a lot of June to ship these materials. And there's 12 vendors that we're working with, like I said. And I think as far as damaged goods or incomplete, like Carolina stated, very different things, right? Incomplete is, okay, you told me that all the vendors are here and I'm still missing, I don't know, one tricycle out of my packages. So that's what you would put on incomplete. As far as damaged, the box that arrived with the tricycles, they're damaged. And not the box, but the content inside. If they're damaged, like Carolina said, we will work with you and the vendors. You do not work with the vendor directly. It'll be all through us. And we will make sure that they pick up any damaged goods and re-deliver the correct one. So I know in the past we've had some problems where they leave the damaged goods for too long. And you guys call me saying, Fiorella, I have this here. It's a hazard to have this here, these boxes. So we've worked with the vendors to try to work quicker and pick up those damaged goods. So please be sure not to throw away those damaged goods, because they will pick them up and then reship you new ones. And like Carolina stated, we are recording this. We will share it. WebAuthor is very user friendly. Most, if not all of you, have already used this through the ARPA workforce incentive that happened almost 6 months ago or almost a year ago. So you're familiar with it, but if you need help, we're here to assist you. But that's generally where we're at with the materials fair. If you're on this call, it's because you already ordered your materials and they're shipping, they're on their way. Some of you already called me to say, hey, I started getting my materials from Kodo Kids. That's great. But just know that if you have any other vendors, they may take a while, right? Because it was quite a large order. We had roughly 1,000 providers and 12 vendors. So I think I'm going to take a pause there. And then I think this is where we punt it back to you, Andrea.
Yes, okay, so for the survey, There was a question and we did briefly present on Marco Polo Learning. So we have met with the vendor, and they will be doing an engagement session with you guys. So to kind of give you like an example of what this product is. So remember that it will be for yourselves, for use at the center, and for your families. So please be on the lookout for an email because we will be creating some engagement sessions to kind of have like a hands-on for you guys and show you what other products are live. Your contract will have login access until from June 30th, till June of next year. So you will be able to use it with your children for the next academic year or in the summer as well. Each center will have their own login account, and you will have a member from Marco Polo that you will be dealing with directly, answering any questions, okay? There will also be another acknowledgement sent for this Marco Polo form. So once we get this ball rolling for Marco Polo, you will be receiving another web author acknowledgement for Marco Polo.
And I can't stress the importance of all these acknowledgement forms because these are federal dollars. So we are responsible in making sure that before we make a payment that you indeed sign off saying, yes, I've received all this and it's in good in good shape. So please make sure that you acknowledge all these forms because you holding back these acknowledgements holds back the payment to the vendor. So I can't stress enough the importance. And I know several people have joined us quite late. So please keep in mind that you may have to watch the recording because you've just missed 3 very important initiatives. We talked about the backpacks and what happens next. Then we talked about materials fair. I ordered my materials. Now what? We've talked about that. And then our colleague Andrea also talked about the early learning software, which was Marco Polo. Now we're going to be talking about our last initiative, which is the business software reimbursement. This was also part of the survey that you guys responded, whether you were interested in or not. And she'll go over the next few slides.
Thank you, Fio. So for the business software, that was divided into business management and childcare management. So things like ADP, OT Pro, ProCare, and Brightwheel. There will be a reimbursement time frame for 1 year. So anything that was purchased between January 2024 and December 2024, and you will be receiving a maximum reimbursement of $2,000. If any of you participated in curriculum reimbursement, this will be the same formula. You will use WebAuthor to apply, select the vendor that you're using, and upload the receipt. Those receipts, mind you, do need to be signed and dated of payment. We're not looking for quotes. It needs to be an invoice that has been paid for. Okay, if you do upload a quote, that will be returned to you and letting you know that you will have to pay for the product before you are able to get reimbursed. Okay. So it could be an invoice or a receipt. I'm sorry. If the vendor gives you a receipt, you're also able to do that. And then you also will need to upload proof of payment. So what did you pay for? If you did PayPal, that will also need to be signed and dated, or a credit card statement. And that will need to say, it does not have to have all your information. If you just want to have the statement and then black everything out just to show the purchase, you're more than welcome to do that. But it does need to say the same amount. Now, for example, if you purchase something and it costs you $3,500, you are more than welcome to upload that. You will be reimbursed just the $2,000. Okay, so anything over $2,000 you can upload. Just know that the maximum reimbursement you are receiving is $2,000. You do anything under, we will be reimbursing you the whole amount. Okay. So it's going to look like this. Similarly, again, everything is through WebAuthor. You have your contact name, email, phone number, your ID, your license. The amount spent will be the amount that you spent on the product. You're going to put the total amount. Again, it was only $2,000. You're going to sign. Excuse me. If you have any errors, please contact us. The amount on the application, you need to have it before you save and submit. Okay, so make sure that the amount on your receipt is the same amount that you're putting. But combined for both products, so combined for business management and childcare management will be a maximum of $2,000.
And I'll add to this, keep in mind that a lot of these softwares, some people might pay monthly. You would need to pay for if you do not want to get reimbursed, or if you have more than the certain amount. Up to now that you would like to get reimbursed, you would have to pay for the remaining amounts or months from now May to December to be able to get reimbursed. We are not prepaying for anything until you pay for the services. We only will reimburse whatever you've paid. So let's say from January to May, you've only spent $500. And then from June to December, you expect to pay another 500. You would have to pay for the remaining amount of months in order to get reimbursed for them. We will not anticipate that you are paying for them. You will need to show proof that you're paying for those months in order to get reimbursed for them. And again, the same thing applies for both softwares in a combination of both. If one costs $2,000, we will pay you up to $2,000 for one or the other. Whichever one you want to apply to is up to you, but we will only reimburse up to $2,000 in a combination of both. If one software, let's say the childcare management software costs $2,000 or $1,500, and you apply for business software, then we can do the 500 remaining for that business software. And what triggers the application here, by the way, if you go back, is you have to click that yes on that purple button in order to be able to see all the information, to be able to acknowledge. Other than that, it'll be all grayed out because it technically is not saying that you're acknowledging anything here. So just in case.
Thank you, Caro. So you will be, again, verifying all your contact information. If you select the bookkeeping software, the yes will appear marked off. So if you have any errors, please let us know. Again, the reimbursement timeframe is from January 1st of this year, 2024, until December 31st. December 31st, 2024. So like Carolina was mentioning, if you've only paid up until now and then you want to speak to the vendor to pay for future months, you are allowed to do that, but it does need to be prepaid before we reimburse you. This is for the childcare management software. You again will need to click yes if you are interested in the childcare management. You will apply which funding source you're using. So for example, ProCare, and you must upload your invoice and your proof of payment. It is very important that for both the invoice or the receipt and your proof of payment, that both items are signed and dated before you upload them, because then we'll need to return the application to you and ask for those signatures, okay? Always.
I'll intervene real quick. So some people selected ProCare, and I know Theo mentioned this in the past. If you decided not to go with ProCare and decided to go with another childcare management software, you are able to upload the invoice, and we will go ahead and reimburse. We will maintain criteria on what is allowable and what isn't. We do have a select amount of vendors that we will reimburse and a certain amount that we will not. So if we do have that issue and come across that, we will let you know. But just because you put ProCare and ended up using, let's say, Sandbox or Brightwheel, we will still reimburse you. That does not deter you from missing out on the dollars, just in case.
All right, so that concludes our presentation. A lot of people recently in the last 3 minutes have just joined us. Before we open it up to questions, please remember to watch this video because you've missed a lot of important information. You're coming into the tail end of the presentation. So we're gonna first start off with questions. Remember, we presented on backpacks. We then presented on the materials fair, which was the packages that you selected. Then we presented on the early learning software, which was Marco Polo. And then we presented on the business software, which is the childcare management and or HR or payroll system. So with that said, it looks like we have Miss April Graham. Go ahead and unmute yourself. And if we need to bring the slide back, we can do that. April Graham, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, quick question. Are we able to divide vendors up into that amount? For example, if I can claim ProCare and QuickBooks?
Yes. So the answer is yes, if you filled out the survey indicating that you were interested in both initiatives.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, Miss Sandra Pickard, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Question regarding the materials fair. You had said that on the web author, we need to click on no. If there was no damaged goods, if it's damaged, we need to click on yes. Now, do we notify you that the goods were damaged, or will you be notified through web author?
The system automatically notifies us. You just have to do your due diligence in the system and the system will notify us.
Okay, all right, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. All right, Miss Carolina Nowicka, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hello? No,
Yes, we
hello?
can hear you.
I-
Hello.
Yes, I have a question. We receive 18 backpacks. I have a 21 kids. And I don't know, do they still gonna come or I need to send you the special email?
Okay, since you're talking about a very personal question, it's not really general. I'm going to ask you to go ahead and send an email. If it's about the backpack, send an email to ARPA, ARPA at ELCMDM.org, letting us know the name of your program, your license, and I'll direct you to the team that's handling the backpacks. That way they can look into your school to see if that's what you wrote on your survey or not, because we're going to have to look into your issue directly.
Okay, thanks.
I'm sorry, we got disconnected when you said what to do after we received the backpacks.
So this recording, this video, this training or meeting, I should say, was recorded, so you can listen to it. But Andrea, can you, apparently they got disconnected when you were telling them
Yeah.
what to do?
Of course. So for the backpacks, as soon as you receive them, you will be receiving an acknowledgement for the backpacks from WebAuthor. So you will need to acknowledge that you received them, upload your packing slip to WebAuthor. It depends on the vendor, whether it came through email or through in the actual boxes. But if you would like to already distribute them, you're more than welcome to. If you want to save them for graduation, it's up to you, up to your discretion, how you distribute the backpacks to the children.
And we uploaded the receipt or the packing slip up to where?
There was a WebAuthor link that was sent directly to the email. If you
Yeah,
didn't
I
receive the
didn't.
link, you can email us and we will resend the link.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Miss Amanda Seaga, please unmute yourself.
Hi, good afternoon. I have 3 questions. Some of them might be silly, but first one is, I don't know where to find the packing slip for all the backpacks, which we received. Thank you very much for the backpacks. Where would I find the packing slip? Is it in one of the many boxes, maybe?
It could be, yes, I'm sorry. It could be
Okay,
one of
all
the
right.
boxes, but if in any case, you can always email us and we'll send you the packing slip for you.
Wonderful. Okay, so that's one. I didn't receive, was there an email sent out once we placed the order of the goods for the playground equipment? Or
The
it's just go
materials
on the
fair.
website and look in that?
No, we have not sent out anything for the materials fair. You should have printed your own order form so that you know what you ordered, but
Perfect.
you didn't get an
Okay.
email acknowledging anything just yet. Once we feel that most of the vendors have shipped everything, then we'll send you guys the link for the web author. But as of right now, we still have a few more weeks before you guys start getting a lot of the goods.
Okay, awesome. And then the last one, and I'm sure you had told us, for the reimbursement for, say, QuickBooks or ProCare, we apply through the same website that we did for the goods for the playground, or is that a separate?
So there was a survey that was done several months ago. That survey
Yes.
consisted of the backpacks, the early learning software, and the business software. If you responded to that survey saying that you were interested in the early learning software and the business software, then you're able to be part of that initiative, right? Meaning the cost reimbursement for the business software that we're reimbursing up to $2,000.
So when does that email, would that email have already been sent out to apply?
Not for the web author for the business has not been sent out. Is that correct, Carolina?
Okay,
You haven't
good.
sent out the business software
No.
yet?
If I'm understanding Miss Seaga correctly, if you already got the backpacks, which I understand you did,
Yes, thank you.
so in that survey was where they asked you if you were interested in the business software.
Yes.
If you recalled and you said yes to any of those, then you will be getting an email in the next couple of days letting us know, or for you to be able to upload and let us know what you want to be reimbursed for.
Okay, perfect. I didn't know if I had missed the email or if it hadn't come
Not
out
yet.
yet. So you've answered it. So I appreciate that. Thank you for everything. We're really appreciative of everything. And I hope one day we can get more. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Yolanda Davis. Yolanda Davis.
Yes, hi.
Hi.
My question is, I received all the backpacks that I'm supposed to receive, but I have two children that moved away to Georgia this month. So do I send the backpacks back to you all, those two, or what do I do?
So because this is again, this is not a general question, I'm going to ask you to send that information to arpa@eocmdm.org, and we'll tell you exactly how to return that or what the next step is. So go ahead and send us an email with the name of your program, your DCF license number, and a little sentence about the fact that you have two leftover backpacks, and then we'll work with you from there.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Miss Marilena Delgado.
Yes, hi, good afternoon. My
Good
question
afternoon.
is for the materials, since they'll be arriving little by little, is there a deadline for the acknowledgement?
There's no deadline because everyone's gonna have their packages complete at a different time frame. Like I may have ordered only from one vendor, and if that one vendor already shipped everything, then I can do it right now. But if some of you ordered from multiple vendors, like I said, some vendors are going to ship very early in May because they had very few orders, but then you have other vendors that may take all the way through June 15th, June 17th. So there's no deadline. At the end, once the vendors tell us, okay, everything has been shipped and delivered, then you have, and I believe, correct me if I'm right, Carolina, you're going to have 5 business days to get that acknowledgement in once your last order has arrived. But as of right now, we do not have a deadline.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, Julie Riveron.
Hi, good afternoon. How you doing?
Good, thank you.
So I'll reiterate, thank you for making all these dollars available and giving us so many options to be able to enhance our programs. I have 2 questions, if it's okay, and you let me know. One has to do with the backpacks. I have emailed and I've let your team know we are missing some packing slips because we received from Discount School Supply. And one of our other sites did receive all their packing slips, but the link was not working. So that was forwarded by email. Should I forward it again just to make sure your team received it?
Yeah, I would say just in case, forward it to me again, because I'm handling all the ARPA emails, and then I'm directing them to the right person that's leading that project, which is Andrea and her team. But yeah, I would just go ahead and forward it again. Just say I'm following up on this email.
Okay, great. And then, and do you want that email sent per site, or do you want it? I included all 3 sites that I'm managing on that one email.
That's okay.
Okay. And then the second question has to do with the management funds for programming, programs. We had submitted, and I'm sorry if I missed it and you said it during the training, we had submitted to get reimbursement for QuickBooks and for Zoom. Are those applicable agencies you're reimbursing for or no?
So I know my colleagues are on the phone, but Zoom is not one of them. It was 2 types of categories, right? Childcare software, which would be the childcare management system like ProCare, like Bright Wheels,
Right.
for the parents to log in. And then the other one was HR related. So payroll could be also the business part of it. So HR and or business, but Zoom would not be one of it. So things like, I don't have the examples in front of me. I don't know if any of my colleagues know them by memory, but we had a few examples of the ones for the business. Do any of my colleagues know them by memory, those examples?
GDP, OT Pro, QuickBooks.
Thank you.
Okay, so QuickBooks is on there. Okay, perfect. So then we'll look into that and then forward it to you, and then you guys finalize if it's going to be reimbursable or not. Okay.
Yep. Once we send out that link, you'll have access to that.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Next, I have on my list Carmen Franco. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, my question was the same thing with the backpacks. We received all our backpacks, but we did not receive any packing slip on any box. And I emailed you guys on Tuesday to ask what should I do, but I will follow up again and re-email you on it.
Where are you sending the emails? Because as of like this morning, I had no emails in ARPA. So I try to respond within 24 hours, 48 hours at the
Well, give me
most.
a second. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah, if you could just resend the email and place following up, we will get back to you as soon as possible for the
Yeah.
packing slip. it may be that we've contacted the vendor to get your packing slip and we're waiting to hear back from them before forwarding it to you.
I sent it to Quality Initiatives and ARPA at elcmdmr.org.
Okay, then just go ahead and I'm gonna ask you to re-forward it. You don't need to send it to both emails. Go ahead and re-forward it to ARPA, and then I'll respond copying my colleagues so that they can look into it. And you can just reply saying, you know, forward it again saying, I'm following up on this, and we'll look
Okay.
into it.
Thank you so much. I will do that.
You're welcome. All right, next on my list, I have Ms. Pinos. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yes, good afternoon. My question is, I received all the backpacks, the package list, but I did not get an email from what author.
Okay, so go ahead and send an email to ARPA with your program name and your license number, and then we'll reply with the link to WebAuthor.
Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome. Miss Anna Hernandez, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So you mentioned earlier that the vendors for the materials, they would be shipping up until when? I just missed that timeline.
Most likely till mid-June, but we don't know if they're going to run into any issues, which is why the question that Miss Marilena Delgado asked about a deadline, we don't have a deadline yet for you to fill out your acknowledgement form. Right now, we're anticipating the vendors to have all the way through the middle of June to finalize all the orders.
Okay, and then yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, Miss Valdez, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, thank you. I believe I've already been, my question's been answered that I don't have the packing slip and I didn't receive a link. I already just sent out an email and it was to ARPA, correct? ARPA
Yes.
at ELC.
Yes.
Okay, I already did that. Thank
All
you
right.
so much for your time.
You're welcome. All right, and we're gonna be able to let you go a little early. I only have 3 questions pending. All right, Miss Merida, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, my question is about the backpacks. I just haven't received the link. I already checked spam and everything and I don't have it.
Okay, go ahead and send us an email to the ARPA email, the ARPA@elcmdm.org, and just let us know you don't have the link to the web author and we will send it to you. And Andrea just put on the chat the ARPA email address for those of you that may have forgotten.
Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Miss Yvonne Lendon, go ahead and unmute yourself. Miss Yvonne Lendon. All right, I have Miss Curtos. Sorry, Miss Curots. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
No problem, It's Karatz. I just had a quick, are you able to hear me?
Yes, we do. We can hear you.
Oh,
Thank
okay,
you.
perfect. I just had a quick question. I'm sure you guys said it multiple times. I've been trying to catch it, but it's chaotic with
It's
the
okay.
noise. So I know that you guys had that software program. Was that something that you had to apply at the time that we applied for the other things, or is that something we can do now?
So it wasn't an actual application. So your
Okay.
actual application that you did back in November and December was only for the materials fair and for the software. But then we said, we sent out a survey saying, okay, who's interested in backpacks? Because we added that initiative. Who's interested in early learning software and business software? And unfortunately, that survey is already closed. But if you don't know if you filled out the survey or not, again, you can send an email to the ARPA email and just say, hey, I'm not
Okay.
sure if I filled out the survey. Can you please let me know if I did or did not?
Perfect, yeah, because that's probably one of the main things. And then we do have the packing slips from the book bag. What are we supposed to do with that? We're supposed to.
You should have received a link from WebAuthor to start the process of uploading your packing slips, signed
Gotcha.
packing slips, and all that stuff. If you didn't get the link, that's when you're going to email ARPA saying, I haven't received the link.
Yeah, because I know we were supposed to do our acknowledgement, which I know the deadline is coming up. So is that
Yes.
also part of it? It's all in the same email?
Yes, it's
Okay,
in
perfect.
WebAuthor. It's part of WebAuthor.
Whatever. Okay, perfect. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. All right, Miss Maite Merino, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, how are you?
Very good, thank you.
2 questions is I did get registered for the software's reimbursement. So do I have to wait still yet to receive any notification, any email?
Sorry, I was on mute. So we're not sending you any notification. What Carolina stated earlier is that we're going to be sending out to everyone that filled out the survey that was interested. You're going to get an email to move forward on Web Author, letting us know what you wanted, whether you want the 2,000 reimbursement to go to your childcare management, or if you wanted to go to your HR and or the other softwares that were available. But you're not going to get like another email asking if you're interested. We're going to send you the link to Web Author, and that's where you have to fill it out and upload your receipts in order to get reimbursed. Oh, I think I lost you, or I don't know if you heard my response, but hopefully you heard my response. If not, go ahead and raise your hand again. Miss Anna Hernandez, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Sorry, one last question. It's just when the initial survey said that like if you were interested in business software, that would that mean that if we were interested in purchasing a business software like QuickBooks or ProCare, not that if you were already using those?
It could be either or, right? And that's what we mentioned in the big meeting that we had. We mentioned either or. If you already had it and you wanted to get money for it, that you were supposed to fill out that survey. So it wasn't just if you've never had it and you want to buy it, but if you already, because many of our providers already have a childcare management system, whether it's ProCare, Brightwheel, or whatever. So we had said that that was also something that we would reimburse for. We just, at the time, we just didn't know if we were going to upfront pay you. And we're doing it as a cost reimbursement. That's what took so long, is to figure out what the state really allowed us to do.
Got it. I'm sorry.
No problem. All right, Miss Yvonne Lendon, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, everyone. My question is, we are now in May, so the months from January to May that we've already paid the ProCare, should I just ask them for a receipt of payment up to this month and then going forward prepay the remaining until December of 24?
Correct. You said it exactly how we stated it. Yes, you would just ask them for a, so you just have to show proof that it was paid, right? So a receipt showing that whatever you paid, let's say if it was 500, you get reimbursed for that if it's a receipt and you upload it. And then you have to prepay for the rest of the year through December, and then we can reimburse you that. The maximum reimbursement is 2,000.
Okay. Now, I have to double check, but I think QuickBooks, if I purchase it right now, they may just charge me for like a year subscription. Obviously the year is gonna pass over to May of next year, because or let's say, yeah, probably, or maybe June of next year. The remaining, they'll probably prorate it for the remaining part of May. So how would that happen? Because I know that they are probably gonna give me like a year subscription.
The same thing as you're saying, we would prorate. So we would take your annual subscription and divide it amongst the months that are allowable to reimburse you. So we would grab from May all the way until December and reimburse you for those months.
Okay.
Make
All right,
sense?
thank you. Yes,
You're
yes. And another thing is, before we go, I just sent an email to you guys, and I also uploaded, or actually I had completed my web author with the label that's on the box, because I never got the packing slip.
So you definitely want to make sure you get a packing slip. We don't want the labels on the box. I'm glad you brought that up. Just send an email to ARPA letting us know the name of your school and your license that you didn't get a packing slip. And our colleagues, Andrea and her team, will get you a packing slip from the vendor.
So in this case, since I already did the web author acknowledgement, will I then receive an updated like version for me to correct that one once you
That's
guys
a
send
great-
me a packing slip?
Yes, we'll send you once you send the email letting us know of your sender's name, and we'll contact you about re-uploading.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just sent what
It's
I had.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, girls.
You're welcome. All right, Miss Espinosa, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yeah, so I sent also, so I received all the backpacks. I didn't have a packing slip, and I haven't received an email, but I emailed the VPK at EL like 2 days ago. So I just wanted to verify if that's the email, or do I do it to the ARPA?
No, it's okay. So now that you said it out loud, I want to make sure no one gets confused. But yes, we have been using 2 emails. The VPK department is handling the backpack. So if you've already emailed them, you don't have to re-email ARPA. I just figured it was easy to tell everybody that knows ARPA. But if you've sent it to VPK and they haven't responded, go ahead and send another email and just say, hi, I'm following up on this email, and they'll make sure that they respond. So thank you for
Okay.
letting us know.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Ms. Merino, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Right, thank you. I don't know what happened before.
Okay.
So, okay, yes, I did register for those software, and this was my question before.
Okay.
So, the question was, I was going to receive something else so I can provide the proof of payment for the reimbursement. So that's something that we're still gonna receive, that it hasn't come yet. That was the question, right?
Correct. Yes, you will be receiving an email from web author to
Web
upload for childcare. Yes.
Also, in regards to the backpack, we received them, the provider, which I don't remember the name right now, sent an email saying that we will be receiving that, and that their package slip would be in the outside of the box for ease, but it was not there. We took pictures of all the labels that they put, which is what they're referring as a slip. That's not gonna work for it, as I hear all the questions that there are about this. So should I just
You're going to
upload-
email us. Email us and let us know the name of your program and your DCF license number, and say, I have not received packing slips for my backpacks.
All right, to the team VPK.
Sure, if you have that email, that's okay. Yes.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much. That's
You're
it.
welcome.
All right.
All right, Miss Davis, Yolanda Davis, go ahead and unmute yourself.
You already answered. I already asked my question. You already
Okay.
answered.
Sounds good. Thank you. So I don't see any other questions. I'm going to go ahead and end the recording. I'm giving you back about 12 minutes back in your calendar. I want to thank everybody for their time. Again, this is being recorded, so we will send this out, the link, once we've completed the Spanish session, and we'll send both English and Spanish. Thank you everyone for your time.